I never imagined that a single Facebook post would reveal who still cared about me and who only cared about what I owned. The morning after I shared a few simple photos of my new house with the caption, "Best Christmas gift I could ask for," I woke up to dozens of missed calls from my daughter. For years, she barely remembered I existed during the holidays, yet suddenly she could not stop calling. That was the moment I realized she had not missed me. She had noticed my house. My name is Emma Carter, and I am 62 years old. After my daughter Megan married Ryan, everything changed. His family became the center of her world, while I slowly disappeared from it. At family dinners, I felt invisible, and during conversations, she often spoke as though I was not even part of her life. The hardest part was Christmas. Every year I hoped for an invitation, and every year it never came. Then one Christmas, I saw pictures online of Megan celebrating with her husband's family beneath the words, "Family is everything." Looking at those smiling faces, I understood that I had been left out on purpose. Instead of begging for a place in her life, I decided to stop waiting. I focused on my career, saved every bonus, built my financial security, and stopped expecting phone calls that never arrived. Years of hard work finally gave me enough money to buy a quiet home in the mountains outside the city. It was not a mansion, but it was mine. Every payment, every signature, and every decision belonged only to me. For the first time in years, I felt truly at peace. A few days before Christmas, I posted a few photos of the house without expecting any reaction. Within minutes, Megan called and asked why I had never told her I bought a home. She did not ask how I was or why we had not spoken. She only wanted to know where the house was and how big it was. Then she told me we needed to talk. During our conversation, she explained that Ryan's parents had sold their house and needed somewhere to stay while waiting for their new home. Without even asking if I agreed, she announced that they could move into my house for a few months because I had plenty of space. She even said it would be easier since I lived alone. Listening to her, I realized she had already made the decision for me. A few days later, we met at a cafe. Megan and Ryan repeated the same story, insisting that family should help family. Then she looked me in the eyes and said, I did not really need such a large house because I was alone anyway. Those words hurt more than years of silence. She had ignored me for countless holidays, yet now she expected me to sacrifice the home I had worked so hard to earn. I calmly reminded her that she had spent years building a life without me. She had never invited me for Christmas, never included me in family gatherings, and never cared how lonely those holidays had been. I told her I had accepted that reality and built a new life instead of waiting for someone else to make room for me. This house was the result of my own work, savings, and determination. No one else had any claim to it. When she asked if I was really saying no, I simply answered yes. There was no anger in my voice and no desire for revenge. I was only protecting the life I had created after years of being forgotten. I left the cafe knowing I had finally chosen myself. Christmas morning arrived peacefully. Snow covered the trees outside my windows while a fire warmed the living room. My phone contained more missed calls from Megan, but I left them unanswered. Later, I heard that her in-laws had rented a temporary place near the hospital. It was not perfect, but they managed without me. As I sat beside the fireplace, I realized something important. I had spent years believing I was forgotten, but the truth was different. I'd simply been pushed aside until someone needed something from me. That Christmas became the first holiday that truly belonged to me. I learned that happiness does not come from waiting to be included in someone else's life. It comes from building a life where your peace no longer depends on anyone else's invitation.